Hello guys, how are we doing and welcome back to the channel. I'm here bringing you today the best class setups you're going to want to use to dominate Black Ops 6 multiplayer ranked play. Season 4 Reloaded dropped with a huge bunch of buffs, which are enhancements to a lot of the attachments. So even if you're, to be fair, using the same attachments you were before yesterday or before today, before the update, you're probably feeling like you're shooting more straight or your gun ADS is a little bit quicker. And that, as I say, is because most attachments you're going to be using on the ranked play guns have all been buffed. If you want to see a full breakdown of what has been changed, you can use the link down below, which will take you to the patch notes, or you can head over to my recent video, which goes through the details specifically for the Harrz and the Jackal. Let's get on with it. So before you can see I've got a long list of class setups here, one for each of the guns that are available on ranked play. Before we get into it, these are the old and Jackal and Harrz classes that I was using. So just very quickly, that's what they were. 7 attachment gunfighter class for the Harrz, and this was the standard Jackal class that I'm pretty sure everyone used. So this is the Harrz class we're going to be using following the Season 4 Reloaded update. It's a 7 attachment class. I'm going to give you a 5 attachment one in a second. But the ported compensator has been buffed, so it's going to do even more recoil control than it would have previously, and to be fair, it was in my class anyway, so this is a go-to for me. The gain twist barrel has had enhanced bullet velocity, which is why I'm using it over the reinforced, because what that allows you to do is use recoil springs instead of your overpressured rounds, because, as I say, the recoil springs have also been buffed as well. We then have the precision foregrip rather than the vertical, because you do get the additional benefit of horizontal recoil, but as well as the aim idle sway, so you really do stay on target with the precision foregrip. And again, that has also been buffed, so that's why we're using that. The ergo has slightly been buffed, and then the combat stock, the flinch resistance and aim walk movement speed have been buffed with the combat stock as well on the Harrz. So these are all pretty much new attachments that have been buffed in some way, shape or form, obviously other than the reflex. If you want to use a 5 attachment Harrz, all you need to take off the precision foregrip and the recoil springs, and it's still absolutely beamed. So this is how the Harrz shoots with the 7 attachments here. As you can see, it bloody beams. If you want to take it off quickly, the attachments to make it back down to 5, which we're going to do very quickly here. You can do so. So you can see, obviously, as it doesn't quite shoot as straight as the other one, you then can still use flat jacket with the 5 attachment class / ninja, depending on whatever you'd use otherwise. But for me, I'm going to be sticking with the 8 attachment gun, because then if I lose a gunfight, it's literally down because I'm poo-poo rather than the class setup. Moving on to the Jackal, not much has changed here. The gain twist has been buffed, and it's the only one you can use anyway. The precision foregrip has been buffed from its aiming idle sway perspective, so I'm going to be trying that out over the Ranger. As long as I can deal with the reduced movement speed, we should be fine there. Ergonomic grip obviously has been buffed across the board, and it's still my go-to rear grip for the Jackal. Combat stock, flinch resistance has been, and a more movement speed actually has been buffed very slightly. It still doesn't strafe as quickly as the Infiltrator, but it's still very much a front runner, and it's my recommendation, especially for that buff in flinch resistance. And then obviously the recoil springs has also had a buff, and it's the only ammo fire mod you can use for the Jackal, so this is obviously the go-to you're going to want to have. As you can see, it still shoots really straight up to these 3 targets. Obviously, it did get a little bit of a nerf in the past, but hey, still a solid gun. GPR, again, has had a bunch of changes, and this is the class setup you're going to be wanting to use for the GPR. It's still not quite as good as the Harrz, even with the attachment buffs, because the attachments were also buffed on the Harrz, so not really changing the relationship between the two. But yeah, you want to run with the ported, gain twist, precision again for that change in aim idle sway, which makes it really shoot quite straight. Ergonomic buff, infiltrate, I still think is the stock to use. It has been buffed on the GPR, wasn't on the Harrz, which is why I'm still using it on the GPR. And obviously recoil springs is my go-to again, because that has also been buffed. As you can see, it's really, really snappy. A bit shakier at those longer ranges, which is why it's part of the role of the GPR. But again, really, really shoot straight gun. That's one you're going to want to use for that. This is what the PP919 looks. Again, a lot of these attachments have been buffed. The compensator is one that has been considerably buffed, and that reduces the recoil to almost nothing. The reinforce has had a slight buff. You're going to be fair, a lot of these attachments have. So if you have a slight preference to another one, I think this is the one where you probably can deviate a little bit. Fast Mag 2 is obviously the go-to to use. Ergonomic grip has been buffed. The slide and dive to 5 speed has been buffed for the Ergo here, so that's why that's still the choice for that. And then finally, the combat stock again for the additional flinch resistance you get, which again has been buffed with this recent update. And let's just see how that shoots in the firing range. So again, not quite as snappy as the other guns, but you can see still beams at these, even, you know, even that long range, well, longish range here, still absolutely beams, and you don't really need to miss a bullet with it. Finally, we have the compact. So the compact has been buffed in all sorts of ways. The only thing is the barrel that has been buffed is the gain twist and the short, and I don't like either of them. So I'm going to stick with the long barrel for this because you need that extra damage range. However, the vertical has been buffed, the ergonomic rear grip has been buffed, the recoil springs have been buffed, and the ported compensator has been buffed. And these are the attachments I'd recommend with the compact. It enables you to shoot not quite as straight as you would with the Jackal or the other one, but it's good enough up to that 25 meter range. I think if you go any further than that, you need to maybe use a different gun. But yeah, it still shreds at these ranges, as you can see, with not much recoil. You have to control that. So a lot of it's just more visual. As I said, these are pure suggestions. These are if you want to try something new and you want to, you know, feel the game a little bit differently. I would fully recommend this. Obviously, the go-to classes that you would have used in the past will be better following in this update, no matter what it is, because all the attachments have pretty much been buffed. Enjoy the rest of the day. Let me know what you think of the class setups. And if you have any other suggestions, because I'm all out here trying to trying to find setups myself, leave it down in the comments below. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.